Hello and welcome to Pursuit 365 Spirituality Show. I'm your host, Rani Sanghera, holistic healer, yoga instructor, and psychedelic guide and coach. Today I have our next guest, Karen Kobel. She is the owner of Kalena Movement. Karen, it is so good to have you here. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
So why don't we start off by you telling us a little bit about yourself?
For sure. So I come to Vancouver from New York originally, but I've been here for about 21 years now. I started off as a dance teacher, turned Pilates instructor, yoga instructor, Reiki master, sound healer. Yeah, so little bits about me. I've taught locally for many years, and then I've owned my own studio for the last 7.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what inspired you to found Kalena Movement Studio? Like,
um,
what was your vision when you first started to what it's turned into now as well?
yeah, so as a kid, the vision started as me and one of my old besties having our own dance studio. That's where it started, probably around age 9 or 10. So I think at some point that always sat in the back pocket, knowing I was going to have my own space. What it 100% was going to be totally sort of shifted and changed and evolved over time, because then I got into teaching Pilates. So this studio I've been up in for 21 years teaching. And then I was super fortunate to be able to take it over 7 years ago, predominantly as Pilates with a little bit of yoga, and then me adding in more dance, and just watching it evolve into where it's at now has been a super cool thing for me to see and be a part of. Yeah.
And I know you personally do offer programs at your studio. So, how do you think that your diverse background in dance, Pilates, and yoga has influenced that your unique approach that you bring to your classes?
Yeah, so we're like, my vision has always been about community and connection, right? So never just one stop shop. Come in, stay a while, have a tea, have like go for a coffee, whatever. So just that community and that connection, and really making the energy and the vibes and the feelings up here just like super warm, authentic. It's like, and that's the feedback we get from clients when they come in, right? Like, you come in the front door, you come up a flight of stairs, and it's just, it's good vibes up here, and my teachers that I've had working here with me, um, have been a huge part of that as well, right? We've worked really hard to sort of keep the high vibes, the energy up. Um, Always a welcome and warm feeling when our clients come in the door, and even strangers. It's nice to see a new face pop in and be like, I just have a few questions. You're like,
Mhm.
great, come on in, come and sit down. What can I get you? Yeah.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah.
Um, And I know that because you do dance and you do mention in your bio that movement is one of the best methods of healing for the mind, body, and soul. Can
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
elaborate on how you discovered this and what specific experiences have led to this realization?
Yeah. So, having been like a dancer first, like, I grew up moving all the time. My parents are movers and shakers. I grew up in the back line of aerobics classes with my mom and dad. I'm not going to
Mm.
lie. Uh, but the movement, regardless of the movement modality, right? Whether someone's doing yoga, me, lots of Pilates, lots of dance, yes, yoga, but whatever the movement modality is, we all get that, that energy, or we're feeling energized, or we've released, we felt like we've let go, or, it just puts a smile on our face that particular day and time. Sometimes we cry. Sometimes we cry when we move. I've had many a dance solo where by the end there's tears, and it's just because that's what needed to be released at that point in time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also like a qigong kind of movement where it's like a lot of tapping and just sort of moving through the meridians of your body, right? Like all of those pieces are getting touched upon, and especially in the dance world, right? There's
Yeah.
lots of breath. There's lots of release and fluidity throughout that.
Mm-hmm.
And different things in my life that have come up or I've been going through it's just super awesome to be able to even just put on a specific song and you're like, this is where it's taking me to.
Mm-hmm.
And flowing through that moment in time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Music heals, and there's a real spiritual aspect to music as well, and it carries vibration. And so you're
Mm-hmm.
talking about the tapping aspect of healing, and which really is movement of energy, is what we're trying
Mm-hmm.
to do when we're doing any of these modalities, is we're trying to move
Exactly.
energy as stuck energy
Mm-hmm.
in our bodies. And so when we use dance, or we use
Mm-hmm.
yoga, or we use Pilates, these are all modalities to help us actually work through trapped trauma.
Yep,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And within many of these different techniques, there's also breath work that
Mhm.
a lot of the time comes organically, right? But a lot of the time there is a specific breath pattern. Pilates has a specific breath pattern.
Yeah.
Yoga has a specific breath pattern. And
Mhm.
I think the thing that helped me the most with my dancing was having tapped into Pilates within my dance classes at a very young age
Mhm.
and realizing where to breathe when you dance. A
Yes.
lot of dancers hold their breath, right?
Mhm.
Or a lot of people hold their breath in movement and they don't even realize it, right? You're just because they're concentrating and they're so like in their zone. I'm like, let's just exhale there. And you're like, oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So being able to sort of breathe through that movement too is like super important. Yeah.
That's right. And holding your breath again is a trauma response. And
Mm-hmm.
so when you're doing these activities, we're learning to breathe through pain. We're learning to breathe through discomfort. We're learning
Mm-hmm.
to breathe through not feeling quite right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and which is, for like, I'll take it here for a hot second, but like delivering a baby,
Right.
right? Like, you've got to breathe through it. Otherwise, you're sitting here like this, and then
Yeah.
the work can't be done,
Right.
right?
Yeah. And prana, energy is prana.
Mm-hmm.
So, and breath is the bridge to the soul, to connect to your
Mm-hmm.
soul. So,
Yeah, I
right.
love it. Or like something was coming up this weekend, and I was just walking around. I was like, and my husband's like, "What is going on for you right now?" I was like, "I don't know. I'm just releasing something.
Yeah,
Something's in here. It'll come to me. I'm not sure who it is or what it is,
but it'll come.
but it'll come." And it's
Yeah.
right because it's the little lion face, the little
And if you're open to receive, then you will receive that message.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Yay. Yay for
So,
breathing.
yay for breathing.
Love it.
One of the things that I found really interesting is that you have done work in Kenya and Uganda. And you're
Mm-hmm.
working with women specifically who have HIV,
Mm-hmm.
and you taught Pilates and dance, and
Yeah.
strength training to them. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience with that?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's so funny because like Africa keeps coming up right now. people from there are messaging me. They're like, when are you coming back? And I was like, oh, I need to go back. It's been too long. Africa for me was like the trip that had to happen, right? Some people choose India and some people resonates with a different culture or country. But for me, it was always like an African pull.
Mm-hmm.
And having had the opportunity, basically, I did fundraising to get there to work with the women and to bring some money there to create a program. And the ladies that are a part of this center, it's called Living Positive Kenya. And so they may not have been born with it, right? Like it came upon, then they're left, with their kids, and maybe their husband has moved on. And the center teaches them how to run their own business. So whatever their skill set is, some of it is beautiful hair work, some of it's bead work, some of it seems like seamstress, right?
Yeah.
Whatever it is, people come in to teach them like the back end, right? Like how is it sustainable to make this my business? Who am I selling it to? Like, how does this even work? Because now they're single moms trying to get their kids an education and like keep a roof over their head. And, it's very like, I don't want to say it's very simple, but like they're very simple things that a lot of people take for granted, right?
Right.
So, my main thing was I was supposed to go down there with some other dancers who didn't end up going. So I ended up just going by myself. I was like, no, I'm not going just because that would, right. For me, I'm not a super scared person. I enjoy taking a risk every now and again. So I was like, I'm going. The ladies still know I'm coming. They've set up a driver for me from the airport. Like, we're good to go.
Yeah.
We're good to go. Part of my fundraising went to bring some supplies to them from some lovely women here who created the brand Luna Pads.
Luna pads?
Which
Okay.
are like reusable sanitary napkins.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because what do we have access to and what is sustainable? Do they have access to clean water, right? So if they have access to clean water, then they can have a week's supply of this product and hand wash it and wash it themselves. So I trucked down there with this massive box of reusable sanitary napkins.
Amazing.
Here comes Karen.
Something that might seem so small to someone, like it might be like, what? Just that? But
Yeah.
that's going to change someone's life.
Yeah. Right.
It's
Like,
going to make
just,
someone's life so much easier.
it takes one, like, for us, one small thing off of, for them, a big to-do list. Right. And a lot of the girls there don't get to go to school in their time of the month because like they don't have access to products.
Right.
Super simple. And so this Luna Pads has a sister company in Uganda. Right. So when I got on the bus from Kenya to Uganda, I went and I visited the ladies there. Like, so neat. Like, such a
Incredible.
neat experience. But I do remember getting to the airport in Nairobi and a big box, and it has a letter because these are donations, right? So they don't, like, if I'm coming in selling stuff, that's a no. But I was coming in with a donation, so I had a donation letter from Luna Pads, and like I hand it to the guy at the gate with my passport, and I was like, "What's his reaction going to be?" And he just said, "This is amazing. I wish more people would do this." I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, like you're a lovely
Yeah.
Kenyan man thanking for this service, right? Like,
Beautiful.
so neat."
Uh,
That was just part of it. Like, so
I know.
many
I'm waiting to
stories.
hear more.
Another
I'm
like
like, tell me what else you have going on. What else did you do there? I want to
well,
know.
so one of the ladies, Darkest was her name, beautiful seamstress. So basically basically money that we raised went to her to buy fabric to make yoga mat bags.
Cool.
Right. And then I
Yeah.
pre-sold a ton of yoga mat bags, rolled them up and brought them all back to Canada with me. And then the people who bought them got their beautiful fabric, the African patterns and the fabric from there. Oh,
Yeah.
so lovely in the yoga mat bags, right? Like so
Love
cool.
it. I love it. Women empowering women. I love it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's so incredible that you were able to
Yeah.
go
And
and
I'm
do.
not wearing my necklace today. I forgot to put it on this morning. I have this beautiful necklace. Oh, I'll send you a picture of it. But
Okay.
it's like the mind, body, like spirit, right?
Yeah.
Like so like three beautiful circular things.
Mhm.
And that was like the first gift I received from a man named Simon in a town called Karen.
So Karen was in Karen.
Right? And that's the lady who started the elephant orphanage down there
Mm,
in, yeah,
interesting.
in Karen.
So tell me, how long were you there for?
Almost 2 months.
You were there for 2 months and you
Mhm.
stayed in the village?
I stayed. So the ladies who run Living Positive Kenya, for
Mhm.
any volunteers who come, they basically have a part of an apartment building, if
Okay.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
So then
you were
you're
in the
in.
city then.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, beautiful.
yeah.
And then, so you got to work with these women probably on a daily basis.
Hmm. Yeah.
And hearing their stories and being involved in their lives for that long. I mean, tell me about how that felt for you, how that changed you as a human being. On a soul level, on a spiritual
Mm.
level, that must have had a massive impact on you.
It's huge, right? I think um, in other lives, I've been to many places. I've been many people. Do you know what I mean? And sort of being there, what truly defined like what I was going there for was actually sometime having acupuncture, where it opened up. I would get my acupuncture in like my spirit points. And as soon as like I was in my zone, I could see, right? Like I could see myself in these places with these beautiful people, just experiencing their life and coming back here, like coming back into like North America after being in such a place of, how do you describe it? Like, you know what I mean? They're like,
Yeah.
their days are not made up of what our days are made up of,
Yeah.
right? Like we're up here like this hustle. Oh my God. And my friend that I made there, who's a famous singer, his name is Key Doom. And we were trying to get him here for a concert, and I'd be in the car with him and his wife and the kids. I'd have sleepovers at their house. They'd take me to the shows and the live music, right? And he's like, this is what it is. You don't take the time to stop.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
don't take the time to say, you're like, oh, we gotta go. We gotta go. Like, let's go. We hurry up
Yeah.
and eat the food and eat the food. And he's like, you don't stop. Take a minute. I was like, right?
He's not wrong.
Take a
He's
minute.
not wrong. Yeah.
And it's like, again, it's like a slightly simpler life in so many ways.
Hmm.
Yeah, but there's hardship, but they're not in this like heaviness of hardship, right? It's different. It's so different. Like when we take those things for granted, we do.
We do. Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I gotta go do this. And you're like, ugh. Like, this is what I do. I sit here in my space by myself. I look at the mountains to
Yeah.
do my computer work, and I just put on my meditation music.
Yeah.
Like, who else gets to do that in their day? Like,
Beautiful.
quite a lovely office to have.
So
Yeah.
while you were there with these women, can you tell me, like, you were there teaching Pilates and yoga and strength training, and how did the women respond? And did you notice a change in them when they were being offered these services?
Yeah. So the really beautiful thing about this particular place also was that they were already getting some yoga. There
Mm,
was a yoga teacher. His name was Ken. So lovely. And he actually became my translator because my Swahili was not so good. So I would be teaching and showing, and then he would be saying it in case they weren't getting what I was saying, right?
great.
So it's quite a unique, neat partnership. So they were getting um, me maybe once or twice a week for some movement and some maybe meditation moments, because it doesn't always have to be movement, right? Just like how to take a minute for themselves and to just sit. And is there a particular frequency that works better, right? Like if you're putting on some music in the background, different frequencies sometimes bring different things.
Mm-hmm.
So, things like that. And something else they were wanting me to do while I was there was help with this fundraiser
Mm-hmm.
that they were doing. I could never get all the ladies in the same place at the same time to learn choreography. They didn't, so that part didn't work very well, but I did a dance solo instead.
Ah, right on.
Yeah, because they had their babies and their kids and things, right? Life, it's life,
Mhm.
and to get from one place to another is not easy.
No.
There aren't like tons of like they're not all of them have cars like we all have cars. We just hop in the car and go. No, it's not. There's many moving parts.
Yeah. At this time, when did you, just kind of switching gears here a little bit, because I want to talk about Reiki,
Mm-hmm.
you're a Reiki practitioner. My apologies. When did you get certified?
Was it 2 or 3 years ago? I'm trying to remember. I can't
So
remember the. It
were
was
you in,
either 2 or 3 years ago.
were you in Africa then, or did you go to
No, no, no. Yeah, Africa was 2013.
Africa? And you offer, tell me how that's, what brought on becoming a Reiki practitioner and how that's changed you.
Yeah. So when I used to be a server and book bands at a bar, all within the time of me teaching dance and Pilates and yoga, because that's what we do. We always have our side hustles. Um, I there I were People would always like they would know that I would give them space or hold space, right? Like they would share with me what was going on in the day, and every once in a while I would do this and just put my hands on their back. And they're like, "What's going on?" I was like, "I don't know, magic hands." They're like, "They are magic." It's like just yeah. So it's like there's something in here that can also give. And so when a friend of mine was like, "Hey, my friend does Reiki training. Can she do it out of the studio?" I was like, 100%. So we basically traded her rent for my certification.
Oh,
Right?
wow.
I was
Yeah.
like, "Hey, don't pay rent. Just like
Come in and
I'm
teach.
coming to do the course."
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. And then you offer that as a standalone?
Yep, I offer it as a standalone, but then we also do that when we do our sound healings.
Right.
So there's always a practitioner in here. So it used to be somebody else playing the bowls and me doing the Reiki. And then that transitioned into me doing the bowls. And now I have a whole bunch of other beautiful practitioners up here. So like they're getting
Maybe.
Reiki and sound from Karen, and they're getting either Reiki or quantum or bioenergy, whatever
Yeah.
my other peeps also have going on.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's really quite a beautiful like combination.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me or share with our viewers what, using your Reiki practice, what has been a significant change or that you've seen in somebody? What's, somebody's come in with a specific issue or problem. What have you seen over their appointments? Like, what sort of a change have you seen? Or is it
Um,
felt like how?
yeah, is a lot, a lot, obviously a lot more calm, more grounded, than they themselves being able to almost like tap in on their own when they're not with you, right? They're like, oh, okay, she said that thing, because you can Reiki yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll call up and I'll like come down to my toes and give my toes a little love. I have Raynaud's. Do you know what Raynaud's is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when when they're getting a little activated, I'm just like, all right, team, we need to calm down. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know when I get my own love from my practitioners, the first bit is up here because my brain is always going.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just calming down the monkey brain and just getting that. And then as soon as this just lets go,
Yeah.
the rest of it's like pop. It's so good. Love it.
Right on. What you also, I mean, I want to highlight that you teach Pilates because you're also a dancer, and I feel like those two modalities go so well together.
Mhm. Mhm.
Dancers make very, very, very excellent Pilates teachers. So, what is some advice you would give to someone who's thinking about coming to you for Pilates? Like they're not quite sure that they want to come. So what would you say to somebody? What would you tell them about Pilates, or what sort of transformation does Pilates offer?
Yeah, I mean, my longest client has been up here for 21 years. Do you know what I mean? It's like, number one, I call this your maintenance package. You're not coming here for like one time and you're going home and everything's perfect and amazing. It's, the where Pilates came from wasn't like this hardcore workout, right? It was almost like rehab based.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and
Mm-hmm.
which is also why so many physiotherapists refer you to Pilates for your next step, your
Mm-hmm.
next, like, okay, we've gotten you to this place. Now go take Pilates. It's this, your brain with your breath, with your body,
Yeah.
which is a lot of my cueing, right? Some people tell me like, I'm not getting it. I'm like, what else are you thinking about? I'm like, as if you're thinking about the groceries while we're trying to exhale into a move to connect, like you've probably missed a muscle group along the way,
Yeah.
right? Like, and a lot of people with MS or Parkinson's and those
Right.
kind of things get referred to Pilates because it's getting your brain involved in the activity.
Right. Yeah. And
And,
muscular
plus,
dystrophy and stuff.
yeah.
So yeah, it's bringing attention to those areas or muscles, and sometimes
Mhm.
just the simple act of bringing someone's awareness to that. For
Mhm.
example, let's say it's muscular dystrophy in the right leg and it's worse. If you bring awareness and breath and
Mhm.
mindfulness to that space, you might see a twitch.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
might see a twitch.
Yeah. And
So, yeah.
it's also like, if I get people in here who are moving too fast, I stop them and I slow them down.
Yeah.
Or I get like a newer client who's like, I'll go over their machine. I'm like, no. I'm like, take two of those springs off. But I can do it. I was like, no. It's not, but I can do it. It's like, I want you, where I actually want you to go is a completely different muscle group than what you're using.
Right. Yeah.
Right. I was
Yeah.
like,
When you
it's
put on more
slow.
weights or you put on more tension, you're not possibly
Not
using,
always.
not always, but you might not be activating
No.
that tiny muscle group that you wanted to be
Mhm.
activating.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, there's fun. I love the games of Pilates. Like, because
Pilates is great.
one day we might focus on the push, but
Yeah.
another day I actually want to focus on the pull.
Right.
Right? Is like the cool thing about, because you have your machines. As I'm like sitting here, they're like just like right here on the opposite side of the computer. Like when you have the machines, but you also have mat work.
Yeah.
right? There's Pilates
Mhm.
mat work, and then there's Pilates machine work, and there's
Right.
reformers, and there's Cadillacs, and there's chairs. Like there's lots of different ways of doing Pilates.
Mhm.
It's bringing the principles to each of those modalities, but then also bringing the principles to the other things you do outside this room.
Right.
And then that's where it helps you really obviously not get injured when you're doing your other things, right? I have a class of men. We call ourselves dudes doing Pilates. And they're four best buddies who are anywhere from 45 to 55
Mhm.
who want to stay being able to mountain bike, cross country ski, snowboard, use their snowmobiles, surf,
Right.
their dirt bikes, right? And they've been with me for sure for 2 years. The injuries are way less, their flexibility is way more, and their core is stronger.
Mhm.
So they stay. They
Yeah.
come once a week and they get it. And they now we have a waiting list of their friends
Right on.
waiting to get into the. They're like, when is there a spot in your class? I'm like, I can create a second class for the other guys, right? They're like, no, 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 Karen. No, it's more fun when there's a wait list because then they really, we get to do it. You guys are funny. That's all I'm saying. Nah.
So, the one question that I like to ask each of the guests that comes on the show is, what does the word spirituality mean to you?
Hmm.
What does spirituality mean to you?
Yeah. My brain goes to, I don't know why everything goes to like authenticity right now, but
Mhm.
like, and I feel like a lot of it for me is staying true to myself and my beliefs and my, sort of my principles and my
Mhm.
morals and like why I do what I do, or how do those things make me feel, right? Because like, yes, I sit and I meditate and I'm in quiet. I also go to church on Sundays with my husband because that's where for him also. And, I grew up going to church on Sundays as well. So
Mhm.
for me, the spirituality side of it is like, we're all one
Mhm.
and we're all here in this collective world, right? And we're all sort of feeling and getting from source,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
like everybody
Absolutely.
everybody has a source, right? So, it's the same with like when you call up Reiki, like where is that coming from?
Mhm. Yep. Absolutely.
And so there's this beautiful universal energy, and especially over the last 4 years, I feel like many of us have really finally felt it
Yeah.
and when my other healers and I talk about the collective, right? It's not just a personal healing journey. Like the whole collective is healing,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
we can feel it, especially like I'm finding us like in the last year, especially more so.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on
Because
that.
we're in some big energy
There's a
movements
shift.
right
There's
now.
definitely a collective shift happening in the world, and
Yeah,
yeah, I totally agree.
it's pretty magical.
Yeah.
To be quite honest, like even because I have so many different walks of life in this studio space,
Mhm.
right? Many of us have always dabbled in our crystals and our thing, like we've always dabbled in,
Mhm.
whether we fully knew why, right? And
Yeah.
because I talk openly about a whole bunch of stuff in here, like more and more of my clients, they're like, hey, I'm feeling this today. What's coming up? I'm like, ooh, let me check in. It's really neat. I mean, we feel full moons, right? Like
Yeah.
that's a big one. Most people feel alive.
Yeah.
Is it a full moon today? I was like, yesterday. Oh, got it. I'm like,
Yeah, when I worked in pharmacy, I definitely knew when it was a full moon.
I teach toddler yoga.
I do that too.
They're like last week when you were here, I was like, "Ooh, I'm just gonna get the bowl out for today." Or their teacher will look at me. I was like, "Today's the day." They're like, "Ugh."
Yeah. It's different. They show up different. It's different every day with kids that
I
age. So,
love it. I love it.
um, so before we wrap up, I just wanted to ask you one last thing, and that is
Mhm.
if you'd like to share with us any offerings that you'll be having at Kalena Movement coming up in the next month.
Yeah, for sure. We've got this Friday. What is it? May 31st. I was like, what day is today?
Mhm.
We've got my friend Laura is going to come, and we're going to do a little EFT,
Mm.
some tapping for calm, followed by guided meditation and some sound healing by Karen. That's going to be a lovely combination.
Mhm.
June 2nd, a friend of mine, Tanya, is going to do Inner Journey to Self, which is a nice light plant medicine journey.
Okay.
I think I'm pulling out the bowls again for that one. And then June 9th, New Moon Sound Healing. June 15th, Kalina Movement Studio turns 7. So we're having a birthday party.
Nice.
I know that. See, everybody can enjoy a little birthday fun. There'll be live music,
Yeah.
some delicious light bites, some fun and whatnot for the kiddos. 6 p.m. we start, and then we do a sauna, cold plunge, and a
Nice.
sound healing for the full moon, which is June 23rd.
Beautiful.
Oh, and the week of June 17th, I think, to the 21st, another friend of mine is going to come in and do some community acupuncture at the end of all of our evening yoga classes.
Beautiful. That sounds incredible. Well, thank you so much. I
Mhm.
appreciate you taking the time to speak to me today.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll have you back in the fall if you like.
I love it. I'm
Lots
in.
of stuff to talk about. I know
Right?
you do a lot of stuff.
We've
So
only just begun.
I know. So thank you. Thank you
Thank
so much.
you.
We'll,
Thanks for having
we'll
me.
see you soon. And to our viewers, we'll see you on the next episode.